Good morning. Hola, buenos dias.
Hello, buenos días.
I've been tasting your wines for like yesterday, and I've been retasting them again now. Very interesting wines. I mean, it's really about drinkability. It's really about the freshness. So I want to talk about your the project between among the four friends.
So our project for us is very important that we are four friends, okay, that we met at the college, at the university in Elche, okay, studying enology there. And we came from different areas, like, for example, Laura came from Murcia and she studied chemistry. Alfonso came from Galicia and he studied agriculture engineering. Jose came from Albacete and he also studied agriculture engineering. And me came from Tenerife, from Canary Islands, and I studied chemistry, organic chemistry before enology. So we met there. For us, it's very important that we don't have any family before with a cellar or with big vineyards. So we say that because we learn at the same time and we have the same philosophy. That's very important for us because we communicate and we talk the same language and with the same philosophy. That our philosophy is how we learn, and it's easy traveling to see some producers around the world and working with, for example, Jose Maria in Casa Castillo, Cumilla, that their philosophy is to make a wine that must to show the important things for us, that is the personality, that the personality of a wine for us is given through the soil. So different soil, different personality. But we think it's also more important to have an alive soil, because a lot of time we talk about the soil, but we don't talk how we work the soil, and if the soil is alive and the microbiology that is around in the soil is alive. And we think that's one point that we have to study, and each day we learn more, studying the microbiology of the soil to have an alive soil that can expose the personality of the wine. So one big step is the personality, that a wine must to have personality. And even though if we work in different areas and all the wines of us taste the same, it's more recipe than personality. So we want to taste wines that travel to you to the place. The second important thing for us is the character. So the character is given by the year, by the condition of the year, by the weather. So that's that's for us is a big point, a goal, to be all the year in contact with the vineyard and with the place, to understand the weather. So when you decide the harvest, we decide the harvest by tasting in the vineyard, so we can feel the weather and understand how is the character in that year. Every year is different. If we make every year the same kind of character, is like Coca-Cola. It's not our deal. So we try to understand the weather, if it's a dry weather, and you can see that in the field. Okay, so for us, we think it is important to be in contact with the field. And the third important thing for us to a wine is the personality, the character, and is the soul of the wine. That is a characteristic that each day and year we get more in value as well as we get older. That is the people that is around in the vineyard and in the cellar. We think that is very important, the people that is happy, understand, and doing the work. For example, it's not the same all people that have been working in the vineyard for a long time, that a new guy that wants to do something new, that have another thing, or unfortunately a lot of people in agriculture that work because they don't have any choice to work in another thing. So we think that it's very important that the people must to be in a good work, in a good job, and we think that agriculture must to be well looking, you know, like a teacher, like a professor, like a bank, you know, like a banker, that people that work in the vineyard have the same rights and the same salary like good people. So why? Because we say that because a lot of people doesn't want to work in the vineyard, in agriculture, and we think that the quality of the grapes came from the people that work around that. So that's the big goal that we think. You see that the grapes that is people that work around and are happy have more quality. That is like more like a factory. So that's the three important things that we think that a wine must to have. So this is our philosophy. So we try to do that. What we do in the vineyard, in the cellar, is trying to show that three things as much pure as possible. So for that reason, we think it's important to interpret, but with sensibility. For that reason, we don't work with commercial yeast, because we think that if you have a healthy vineyard with good microbiology, you don't need to add any commercial yeast. And we are trying to be focused and have the precision of the place. So that's more or less our philosophy. We think that now it's a fashion that people say no intervention in the wines. We think that we must to make intervention, but with sensibility and understand what is that. Okay. So we don't use to work with sulfur in the cellar, because we can control the oxidation, but with the carbonic that is from the alcoholic fermentation and malolactic, and also we work with the clean lees. But before bottling, we add sulfur, a little sulfur. But we don't see that the sulfur is the devil. We are not in a religion. We think that we are more agriculture to have a great quality grapes with great team around us, and that's what we want to show. So we started in 2008. We met at the university. We met in 2004, and in 2008 we create Envinate, because we bought a small plot in Ribera Sacra. We started there. So we create the company Envinate, and we start from zero. So we started to make consulting some cellars around mainland Spain, and also work as winemaker in another cellars. So all the money that we get from the consulting, we invest for buying vineyards and renting vineyards. So right now we are in a point that we are very happy, because we think it's the great balance for us, that we control around 45 hectares. Okay. From the 45, around the 70-75 are from our own and rented, and the rest we buy the grapes. But all the grapes is the decision in the vineyard is made by us. Our philosophy is that we made the wine in the vineyard more than in the cellar. So all the decision of the grape is made by the four of us. So we think our goal is to have 100% by our property in the future, because we work with some owners that they want to rent, but when they get off, they will sell to us. We have contracts, but our focus is to have 100% of us. And with the 45 hectares, for us is a great quantity, because we can handle all that surface between the four of us. We can make what really we really want. We can learn more about the personality of the different soils. We can be happy with the team that we have. We think that we grew more. We cannot do whatever we want, and also the wine. So we can do whatever we want. We think we're happy, and also we can have a good business, that we can have a great life with family, with time, with everything. So that quantity for us, for the four of us, is the great balance. We want to grow, improve in quality, and that the people that is around with us to be happy, not in quantity. More quality is that we want to do. So more or less is that a little introducing about Envinate.
What is the first vintage from you guys?
The first vintage we started was 2008, okay, 2008. But with the name of the wines were Envinate, was Pedreira Lousas, and we made another wines that called Puzzle, that we do from Almansa, from another areas, but we sold in one market in Germany, because wasn't really the wines that we really want. And also when we started in 2008, the vineyards that we started working was not balanced for us. We need to work the soils to be, so we think that our are really first vintage could be 2011 when we start to make with that label that you have in front of you. Before we made wines, but was with another label because we were focusing in working in the vineyards and have a good thing. But we need to make money to invest in some vineyards. So for that reason we started.
Of course, great. So you have different vineyards in Ribera Sacra, you have in Tenerife, around Spain. So are you still thinking about like expanding the vineyards a little, stretching a little further across Spain?
As I said you before, we have now the 45 hectares, and we don't want to grow more. We want to have 100% of from ourselves, from our own of the 45 hectares. But we don't want to, for sure, maybe we can make some collaboration with some friends because we used to travel. We think travel and talk with a lot of producers, you learn a lot. But maybe some small collaboration, but not making something from Envinate, because right now we are on a point to understand more what we are working, and we think we are happy and we can handle that. Maybe if we grow more, we cannot handle as well as we make all the harvest by ourselves. We taste in the field. So
I see all the wines, or most of your wines, will have the Vino Atlanticos, right? The name Vino Atlantico. What do you try to express with Vino Atlantico?
Okay, when we started, Albahara, the orange label, put Mediterranean wine. That put Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's the only one I see that's Mediterranean.
So we work in Ribera Sacra, that is in Galicia, Atlantic influence, and in Canary Islands. So we are in the Atlantic Ocean, also is Atlantic. So we put Atlantic wines because when we started like 10 years ago to make the labels, people maybe in Spain thought that Spanish wines were like more oaky with a lot of alcohol. You have to move like 10 years ago when Spain was more like tough wine. So people understand, we see the label that is more like they are Atlantic wines. That's the beginning. Yeah, maybe if we put now the wines, we won't put Atlantic wines, but this is how we started, and we are proud about that. So we keep to doing that.
Yeah, because I see like Spain used to be known as a country that you have a lot of robust tannins, a lot of oak, and these wines are nothing like that. So it might be, when you started, it might be a little difficult for the market to receive this. I don't know now. I think now these wines are getting more popular, but how about like 10 years ago when you started, like the 2011 vintage? How did the market react?
For us, really, was very easy because we started exporting, and our important market was United States. So our importer from United States wants all the wines in United Kingdom, in different countries, also in Japan with racines. Do you know racines, the important racines in Japan? So and they know what they wanted. We were lucky from the beginning because all our importers, we think that an importer is very important because it's your face in the country. Before they work with us, they came, they visit us, they understand our philosophy, and they know where to put the wines that they are good value. Okay, so we think at the beginning for us we're lucky, and we start growing as well. And right now we are in 45 markets. And in Spain at the beginning was a little different because people think that the Spanish wines were more tough, but when people outside from Spain, they taste our wine, they say, wow, this is not the Spanish what I have on mind. And I think that right now in Spain, we are in a very beautiful moment because, as you say, 40 years ago, all producers in Spain wanted to make Rioja. So everyone planted Tempranillo. 25 years ago, everyone wants to make the popular Parker's wine, with a lot of alcohol, Syrah, Cabernet, and 300% of new oak. But right now we think that we're in a moment that you can really see the diverse of Spain, because you can have a great Garnacha from Mentrida, from Madrid, from Comando G, good Monastrell from Jumilla, good Mencía from Bierzo, as well as Ribera Sacra, Albariños, because right now people is making wines from the area. And it's people that have been traveled from a lot of places, and they understand that they have to do from the place.
It is the local grapes that are singing now, like in Spain.
But it's easy to understand, because if we have local varieties well adapted, it's because before people have done that, and the best grapes that are adapted are the grapes that the growers they put. It's something easy, you know. It doesn't. I don't think in Tenerife plant Syrah or Cabernet, because we have vineyards like more than 200 or 300 years old in Tenerife. We never had Phylloxera, and they have been adapted. So in different area, the grower see what is they well adapted, and that's easy. I think that the hard work is made by the growers centuries ago.